In this lesson, we are going to be adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers. Now, in order to add and subtract fractions, which it's more strict than multiplying and dividing, in order to add and subtract, you have to have common denominators. That's a must. And remember that when you get that, the denominators don't change after that. Okay, and we'll talk about that when we get there. So basically, you need that look. So denominators match. So all that really is allowing you or having you do is add the tops together. So let me kind of walk through this the long way the first time. Is if you have 3/8 plus 1/8, all that's allowing you to do is combine the tops. But it's all about how many eighths that you have. Okay? So you have 3 plus 1, it's going to get you a 4/8. And then we'll simplify that down. So we can divide a 4 out of both of them and get a 1/2. Okay, so that's the goal. So no matter how many denominators you have, they need to all match. And so on this one, I'm going to start with, can the other two small ones become 32? 8 can become 32 and 16 can become 32. So I'm going to multiply the 8 by 4. So if I'm multiplying the bottom by 4, I'm going to multiply the top by 4, and 16 I can multiply by 2. So then I'm going to multiply the top by 2. Okay, so I'm going to have a 5/32 plus a 6/32 plus 28/32. All right, so once you have that, that allows you to add all the tops together. So you got 11 plus 28 is 39/32. And it depends on what the directions are asking for. So if it says leave it as a simplified fraction, this might be just fine. But if it also might say write it as a mixed number, then that's when you got to take how many times is 32 going to 39? 1 time with 7 left over. So it just kind of depends on what the directions are. So just make sure that they're not asking for a mixed number, or you can try that answer and then try that answer if it doesn't work. Okay. So when you get to a mixed number, right? Basically, if you start with a mixed number, your final answer is probably going to be a mixed number. It's kind of a rule of thumb. So what we have is we have the whole numbers are adding together and the mixed numbers are adding together. Sorry, the whole numbers are adding together and the fractions are adding together. And then I'll kind of put the two back together. So we're looking at 5 plus 7 plus 4. All right, so that's 12, 16. All right, but we also have 2/3 plus 3/8 plus 1/2. All right, so we're looking to figure out what can they all become. So I'll start with the two bigger ones. What can 3 and 8 both become? They can both become 24, and 2 can become 24. So I'll make each of the denominators 24. And then I got to multiply this one by 8, this one by 3, and this one by 12. All right, so that's going to get us a 16/24 plus a 9/24 plus a 12/24. All right, and then just like before, this allows us to add all the tops together. So I can do, this is 21, 21, and 16. It's going to make 37. Okay. Now it's an improper fraction. So like I said, if it starts in a mixed number, I'm going to turn this all into a mixed number. So I'll bring that 16 into play in just a second. But 24 goes into 37 one time. And if I subtract those two, I'm going to get 13 left over. Okay, so my final thing is to take this value and combine it with the whole numbers that we already have. So from here, I'm going to be taking the 16 plus the 1 and 13/24, which gives us 17 and 13/24. All right, And that is adding and subtract, or that's adding. Here's a word problem related to that. So it says if a plumber uses a 9/16 inch diameter copper pipe wrapped with 5/8 inch insulation, what size hole must he bore in the stud to install the insulated pipe? So let's do ourselves a visual on this so we can kind of make sense of what's going on. So we are, let's see, we have a copper pipe, but that copper pipe is wrapped in an insulation. Okay, so we got a couple of measurements going on. So we have this diameter of the copper pipe, it says is 9/16. Okay, so that value is 9/16. But you have this insulation on each side because it wraps around, so it's going to be counted twice. You got a 5/8 here, and you have a 5/8 here, because this is the diameter of the actual hole that you're looking to drill. So we're going to add them together. So we have a 5/8 plus a 5/8 plus the 9/16. So no matter what, we need common denominators. So I can make this into a 16, I can make this into a 16, and this is already a 16. So we're looking at 16ths. How many 16ths do we have? We got to multiply the 8 by 2 to get 16. So we'll multiply the 5 by 2. Okay, so we're looking at 10/16 plus another 10/16 plus 9/16. So that turns out to be 29/16. 16 goes into 29/1, and I have 13/16 left over. So that's how big the hole needs to be, almost 2 inches. If it wants to fit snug, if you wanted it to fit for sure, then if you went 2 inches, you'd be okay. All right, so that takes care of addition, and then we'll do another video that will break out the subtraction part.